Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Chasing Optimum. Jordan,
Good morning.
been a while since you've been on here.
Excited
life
to be
been?
back. Life's been good.
Yeah?
Life's been good.
That's good. Well, we're going to talk about today a bit about you. Mm-hmm. You spoke in Adelaide the other day.
I did, yeah.
How did that go?
Yeah, really well.
Yeah?
I hope they were interested. Really, I'm just sharing stories about everything that I've learned from you and John.
Yeah. Did you put your own review up?
My own video testimonial.
5-star. He was amazing.
No, I think it went well.
Yeah, the journey back to number one
Yep.
is let's give people an update. Let's talk about the real stuff, what's working, what's not, where we're at. I just thought people might want to understand that because we talk about it a bit. The vlogging is proving to be pretty hard.
Yeah. Hard in what way? Just to be consistent.
Or to always have a camera on.
Yeah.
Capture the things. There's been about 100,000 times where I've talked on the phone or put a deal together. I'm like, I should have recorded that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jackson, because Jackson also films agents as well in McGrath. So sometimes he's here, there and everywhere. Paul.
There's also a lot of times in the office I say something and turn the cameras on. I go, oh boy.
That's exactly right. So let's talk about it. Like, number one, we're not really on track at the moment.
Yep.
We're sort of on track. So yeah, no, we're not actually. So we are. We've got this 15 sale a month barrier.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Yeah, we're hovering at 15 sales a month, but we seem to be listing between 20 and 25.
Yeah, but it's good. So what would be our biggest challenges at the moment?
Getting properties sold.
Yeah.
But I was also saying this, I know you go, well, I didn't want to hear about the market, but even when I was talking at Adelaide, I said, what's the market like here? And they pretty much said, you get a listing, it's sold. Like, it's always been a challenge for us at a coastal town to compete with Alex Jordan and Alexander Phillips and things like that. Like, he's auctioning 95% of his properties. If you're auctioning 95% of your properties, pretty much you're saying 95% of them are going to have competition on them, essentially. We're not. Like, our auctions have one or none. Maybe two.
Yeah, they do. A lot of the time we're only looking for one buyer though, aren't we?
I just think there's probably more buy work involved than there is listing work.
How's your buy work?
No good. I pretty much gave it up. That's probably one of the reasons we're a little stuck. Well, for people that are listening, you and I worked together for a lot of years and I just sold all your properties and managed all the auctions. They all used to sell pretty well, or almost all of them. But then we both started listing and I started listing more and no one was really selling too much. So we had this big bank of listings, but some would sell, some wouldn't.
Because we were probably relying on the process to sell them.
Well,
and in our town, you have to sell them.
You do. Yeah, you need to be saying to buyers, what about this one? What about that one? I changed my mindset into a bad place that I thought if I had the best listings in the market and they were priced well, the buyer would come. So I just went, I just don't need to do buy work. I just keep listing. Now I've got 40-something listings, which is fine, which is good, but I need to get some sold.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, we've always had, because you, me and Trevor are really dominant listing agents.
Yeah.
Like that's what our, we're great listers. And then the buyer side, it's because you've grown. Like you were the team buyer agent for a while, for a long time.
Yeah.
And there was also Charlie.
Yeah.
So Charlie's gone to another agency and we got Whitney. So Whitney moved over from New Zealand and then it takes 6 months to get up and running. She's 4 months?
Yep.
Well, she's starting to really pick up traction now.
Yeah.
So it's been an adjustment for us.
Well, our whole team is changing, not us three lead agents, but everybody else is kind of trying to find their way, find their place in the team.
Yeah.
What do you think?
What about?
Well, what do you feel the gaps are?
Well,
at
I
the
think
moment?
you're right on. It's that. Well, if you look at I reckon last month and into this month, well, for one, you're sober. So that's good.
Yeah.
Last year was a roller coaster of you being there or not. Like you're there, but you're not really there on the Mondays and the Tuesdays.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
It's true. Let's call it as it is. And then I think I was floating a bit.
Yeah, right.
A little bit.
Yeah.
You know, so used to like just doing business and doing business, you know. I was hungry, but not just doing my thing. You know, like because you grew so much, you took over Wombrel, then I was doing the upper end, and I was just doing, you know, appointment or two a day. Even though I work all day, it was different.
Yeah.
Like it was sort of like just what was coming to me. So I think over the last couple of months, we've really drilled down on, what needs to happen. So our buyer work needs a big kick up the bum, but we're doing that.
Yeah.
It's not like we can't. It's just that we're paying more attention to that now. Our buyer hot lists are going to be, they're building. We've got a lot of focus on them because in our area, like you said, you have to take people to houses. The technology just doesn't do it for you a lot of the time, half and half. It's the other half that we need. So,
it's not a listing problem. It's a selling problem.
A selling problem. Yeah, and our market is volatile. Like I don't really talk about the market in our team too much, but if you look at when the interest rates come, all the buyers disappear. Interest rate increases, people stop investing in our area. Like we've got a high base of investors, and then when people decide not to sell houses, they don't buy apartments or rural. So and look at Wombrel just sort of come to a grinding halt.
Well, I looked at the numbers. The years we were winning number one, we were listing between 200 and 220 properties a year and selling about 180, 185. So that's a pretty good list to sell rate.
Yeah.
And then last year, which I think was one of the toughest years that I've worked through, we listed the same amount, something like 200, and we sold like 125.
Yeah.
I don't think we changed much.
No, maybe my foot came off the accelerator a bit, like compared to the volume I used to do. But see, I've gravitated to the upper end. You're right, we're changing so much.
Yeah.
I've gravitated to the upper end because that's sort of where I'm at in my career now. I've always avoided it for most of my career because I didn't like it. It was just, I'd be like, you can have a house and just sit there forever. And where are the buyers in our area? Like back then, I used to be like, oh my goodness. Whereas now I feel, I feel like connection with it.
Yeah.
I feel like I can guide the owners well. Sure, they might take a little bit of time, some of them, and the type of buyer I like dealing with as well. And you've taken over what I was doing. Because I always
the middle range stuff, yeah.
Sort of, yeah. I always sat in that $1 to $2.5 million range, and that was what I did. I loved it. And it was like 10, 20, 15 sales every month myself, nonstop. But that was the Wombrel base.
Yeah.
You know, and I really, that was sort of my sweet spot. And my main competitor used to go in and say, oh, Matt doesn't even sell anything over $3 million. Why would you list with him? He was sort of right because I didn't like it. This is like difficult. Well, not difficult. I just didn't enjoy it. Whereas now, things are 4, 5, 6, 10, 15 plus million. It's different. They take time. You have to meet. Even getting things. We just listed a couple of beautiful acreages in the upper end. What's the preparation time been like? 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Photos, shoot, back again and back again. You've been morning shots, dust shots.
Yeah.
I don't go to the photo shoots. You go to the photo shoots and Ash does. But how long have they been?
Yeah.
Just to get them on the market.
And then it takes a lot of time for Ash, which takes her away from other things.
It does.
It's our business unit has definitely changed a lot.
It's changed.
In the last 12 to 24 months.
Yeah.
But for a good, I don't think we could have operated it in the same way. You're changing the way that you wanted to do business. I've grown to that position. Trev's just like redlining 24/7. And then our support staff and the buyer agents are trying to like work out our rhythm, essentially.
So we are putting another buyer agent on. So we've got Whitney and then we're going to have Beck come along as well.
All very skilled, but it's just getting everybody working together.
Yeah, and it is managing the volume, getting it done sooner. So Trev has pulled his second bicep off. So just 2 weeks ago, he tore off his bicep off his arm. He just had surgery. Yeah, have you ever heard anything like it? And then last weekend, he tore his other one off.
You know when people say, I'm getting old? He's getting old.
He's getting old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the perfect example of it. He tried to reach and grab a football and his bicep
Tore off.
Like,
Yeah.
how?
Paper mache, man.
Yeah. Next, he'll try and step out of bed and break his leg or something.
Well, they do call him the tripod, so he should have support.
So what do you think?
So Trev, we're going to work with Trev now, being off for, I don't know, what's he going to be off? A few weeks?
We'll just have to get a headset. You just have to walk around with a headset.
Yeah. I heard one of the CEO of Disney had to go to hospital. Did you hear that story?
No.
True story. And he went to hospital and he was going to be in there he had, I don't know, he's sick or something. And then he went in there and he got his whole office brought into the hotel room and a desk made and all the computers put on and all like a big working table like that. And he worked from his hospital. So we should do that with Trev. Can you get Jace to make up the bench? We'd be lost with that, Trev.
We would. What do you think for me, what this next progression looks like? Because I said to you yesterday, like, I'm ready to be pushed to breaking point. Like I said, I want you to be telling me to do something and tears running from my eyes. And I said, I won't cry ever, but I want to be under so much stress and strain like that tears are running from my eyes essentially. And I don't know how to push myself more than I am now. Like, I think I need to just be smarter with my time. Maybe I am doing some things that I maybe shouldn't be doing. Maybe sometimes I do things myself rather than give them to Ash if I feel like she's on doing something for you. I don't know.
Well,
but I'm ready to go to the next. I don't know what this next thing is for me.
Well, I think first you've got to recognise that you are doing a very good job. So I think first you've got to take a bit of stock there. And you are growing and you're doing a great job. For 30 years old, you just turned 30 the other day. Happy birthday for that.
Thank you.
You're incredible. So that's outstanding. I think you're a bit of a mess outside of work, and you're working on that. Financially, you're a mess.
Well, I said to you yesterday, because when we were talking about that car thing, I threw all my letters in the bin, and I said to you,
I got so annoyed.
I just pay no attention to my life outside of work.
But that's what I'm saying.
And I just never have. I've just been like,
I'm going to change it.
I do. I need to.
Ask what do you need to do.
Yeah.
So I want you to get a bit of peace of mind outside of work. So you went through, just so people know, and it's natural. Everyone does it. I've done it. Everyone's done it. So you didn't have accounting backup, so you got a big tax bill.
Yeah, I paid no attention to it pretty much, and it was mismanaged.
That's right.
And then I got just out of the blue $150,000 tax bill.
Yeah, but it's a learning curve.
Yeah,
and you bought too many properties.
I did.
So you bought, which you'll be fine, but it put a lot of pressure on you.
Yeah, I bought like 3.
And we had a few lean months last year because I think partly my foot was a bit off the accelerator, leaning on you. You were all over the place. Trev was dying. And we just had a weird time. The market was very weird. It wasn't because, go back before, you're always banking these amazing comm checks all the time because you were earning it. But then things just went wobbly. So you've had to regroup from that. So I think
which the light's at the end of the tunnel.
It is.
You're getting there.
You are sorting it all out and it's getting there. But even like a little bit of more focus on your outside of work, I think is going to be majorly beneficial inside of work.
Well, this is funny that you said that. So at the Adelaide talk, they said, "What's the hardest thing about your career today?" And I said, "It's not the work, it's not the business, it's managing my life outside of work and trying to stay away from the fun stuff." Because naturally, people like being around me, so they invite me to all these places. So I'll kill myself Monday to Saturday, like drive myself into the ground. And somebody on a Saturday will say, "Hey, come here." And I'm like, "Well, I've worked 80 hours this week. Yeah, I'm going to go there." Like, that's the hardest thing for me, is to not just explode every now and then.
Well,
which I find very difficult because being naturally an extrovert, the best thing for me is to be an introvert, which is not where I operate, and do the mundane tasks and eat properly and train, and which I do during the week. But all my urge is like, all right, I need to go and like just explode somewhere, and then I'll go back to that mindset that I need to be in for another 6 days, 12, 14 hours a day.
I think it's great.
It's very difficult
You need to
for me.
do that at your age and do that sort of stuff, but you've got to stay away from the drink. You do. You have to stay away from it. Like, have drinks, but don't come in Monday and lose a whole day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably I was just coming in exhausted because
your whole
there was no rest period for me. But like I said to you, I haven't had a drink all year. I never thought about it once. It's not a thing. It's just I'll just go anywhere to have fun.
But you've got to read it forward a bit now. Now that you're in your 30s. So your 20s are like working yourself out. Your 30s are where your real building phase happens. Your 40s, you start to develop a bit of wealth. Your 50s, you really enjoy the fruits of your labour. You know, and you're still building. Like I feel like I'm just starting now. I'm 52, but you can learn a lot of things from the people around you. You've got good people around you. You know, Jamie, John McGrath. You've got a few other people outside, like clients that are quite successful. Take a bit out of everyone's thing and then make your own formula. But I don't think drink does you any favours.
I agree with you.
Yeah. So have a drink every now and then, but go home, get up the next day, be fresh. You know, don't be running around Terrigal streets at 5 a.m. with your shirt off, screaming at people.
I don't know about that, but yeah, it is true. But it's our environment, and it's the 30s. That just tends to be what everybody does. Like I lost in my 20s to 30. I lost most of my friends. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't like go to their weddings and things. I just worked, which I probably should have balanced that better. But it's the last couple of years. I don't know. I just wanted to have fun after working such big weeks. But yeah, I'm moving past that now.
I'm just saying moving forward, but you can do that, but just not every week. I do it once a quarter. Go to Sydney, have some fun, come back again. That's fine.
Yeah.
You know, just don't make yourself wobbly. But on top of that, so outside of work, we're working on that. So you're definitely making headway there, and we're going to get you back to a position where you got good peace of mind outside of work, all sorted, running within a parameter. Don't buy these $2,000 shoes you used to buy and all these things, craziness. We're just going to be sensible.
Yep.
Yeah? That? Mm-hmm. And then prospecting.
Yeah.
So your core area is everything, but we can't be number one just on a core area. Our core area is responsible for a consistent flow of business and build your profile. I'm very interested in building your profile, our team as well, but I think it's something that enthuses you. So your brand is so important. So that's something that I think moving forward, I want to spend a lot of time, energy and money in building your brand in your core area. So that's where you do it. I saw a video the other day of an agent saying farm area is important. It's the biggest load of rubbish because it's not that it's not important. And doesn't forget the size. You do whatever size you want. We do 1,100 homes. But that's how I build my profile. But it's in that area you can control your saturation. So you become a household name. And then you spread out, like it literally ripples out across your entire area you live. So not just Wombrel like we do, but Wombrel is how you spend all of your time prospecting, investing in marketing, building your position in the market, getting great results. And then people go, hey, Jordan's everywhere, la, la, la. See Jordan's social stuff. See Jordan, she sold for Sally over here. He sold for Sally over here. He did this. He does amazing. Seen all the signs in those streets, stuff like that. And it just ripples out into Terrigal. And because you can't service all these areas around. Agents that have 3, 4, 5 suburbs everywhere, they don't go deep. They go broad. So that's something that I think is a big focus for you. And the ability to prospect when you're busy.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing. It really is.
That's the next part of your career.
And for me to let things go to the keeper.
It is.
Because I'll be prospecting and a call come in and I'll kind of know what it's about and I'll let it go and that's all I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
My mind's gone. I'm like, has something happened there with that deal? Like, do I need to get involved? That's a really tricky thing for me.
It is. That's the muscle you need to build.
And even this morning as an example, so from 11 o'clock today, it's here now, was 7 o'clock. From 11 o'clock today, I'm back to back until 5 o'clock this afternoon. So I've got to manage to talk to my owners and prospect within 2 hours this morning, plus anything that Ash needs from me, Whitney needs from me, and then get out and be present and prepared for all of these meetings. Then come back tonight, which I'll be in the office at 5 in a complete mess with stuff that I've just been managing through the day. And I'll be in the office from 5 till 8:30 trying to get all that done so I can go to sleep with peace of mind. Like that seems to be my rhythm all the time. But I know that the prospecting is the most important part. But I do tend to just kind of put it to the side sometimes, especially when I look at my list of properties that I'm managing, I'm like, do I need more listings? But
You
I
don't need
know
more listings. You got to see it this way: prospecting creates profile. That's what you need to attach it to, not the listing. Prospecting builds profile. So when you're talking,
how did you, I'm so curious about this, and it's something I've asked you so much over the last few weeks. How did you manage that because you go, I did the same with just me and a PA, and that warps my mind just even thinking about that. And I know you, I work hard. I won't be able to work like you. Like you were up at 3:30 a.m. You were folding letters. You'd letterbox for 3 hours in the morning. If I'm wrong here, just let me know. And then you'd literally work the whole day and then work until 10:30 every night. Like I'm committed, but that's like end up in a psych ward type of stuff.
yeah, I think the difference is small chunks. So you like you're growing. You got to understand you're growing and you're working out your way. My way and your way is two different things, but you take bits of info from people. You've got to come up with a Jordan Bulmer system that works for you. You know, you might use other people. I just used me mainly. You might use other people, but you can't use other people, I've learnt, to build your profile properly. Because when someone speaks to Jordan, they go, I met Jordan today, la, la, la. Whereas if Whitney knocks on the door and goes, hey, I'm here for Jordan, la, 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 it's all right, but
yeah, it's
not
nowhere
the
near
same.
as powerful.
That's
yeah,
right.
Agree.
It's like someone knocking on the door going, oh, Donald Trump sent me. And but if Donald Trump knocks on, you're like, whoa, shivers. You tell everyone, Donald Trump knocked on my door today.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. It's no different than this, George. I'm writing a book, and the third book. I don't know if I'll write another one. It's such a big task. But so this book, I handwrite it out first, and this is along the lines of what you're saying. So I'm almost finished it. So the book starts, you write all the chapters down, and then all the things you want, the points you want to write. This is how I do it anyway. No one showed me. I just did it this way. 20 chapters, okay? And then I handwrite every chapter. Okay?
For somebody that can't write as well, that's just...
Yeah, that's right. But what I do is, if you have a look here, and it's very hard because you've got to be in the mindset to write. So I get up first thing and do it, and not every morning I do it, but most I do. And if you have a look here, I write to this point, see if I can find one. And I don't just keep writing the whole chapter. Sometimes I do, like on the weekend I wrote one whole chapter, but other times I'll get to a point, let me find it, and because you forget. By the time you get up the next day, you sort of forget what you were writing. And I'll get to a point, can't seem to find one now, and then I'll write something in brackets for the next day underneath.
As a start.
As a start. So when I come back to write the page, I can't actually even find one. There's lots of them in there, but I go...
Done pretty well.
It's like a couple of books there. And then I've got to type it again. So I've got to type it after I've handwritten it. But the reason I handwrite it is because I'm connected to it. And I tried to use a ghostwriter on my original 31-minute book. Like, they're not bestsellers. They're just books I've written because it's an idea. I don't even market them, really. But I tried to do ghostwriting, and I thought to myself, I can't find these brackets. They're there somewhere. So I get to I might write for 2 pages or 3 pages and then put in brackets, talk about la, 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 la. And so the next day when I come, I sit there, I just look at the brackets, and I can sort of pick up on where I left it.
Yeah.
But I tried to do ghostwriting originally with the 31-minute thing, and I had to record into the thing, and then they type it. But it never made sense to me. And there's lots of ghostwriting out there. I think a lot of the high-profile people that you see, like, I don't know if Tammy Hembrow did, but she wrote a book recently, and she's so busy. I would assume she did. I could be wrong. Gary Vee gets his ghostwritten, all those, because it's a time thing. It takes a long time. I've been doing this for 10 months now. And then to retype it, then get it edited, then read it, and then read it again. It takes a long time. So what I was saying is the ghostwriting, I always felt like, well, I'm not really writing the book. You might produce a book, but then you run around going, oh, I didn't actually write it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's not. So when I handwrite something, it's from me. Like I'm sitting there with a pen. You know when you handwrite a thank you card or something?
Yeah.
Got a real deep connection with it. So that's what I'm saying with you, with prospecting. When you make the effort to do it, that's why I always delivered the letters myself for years, for 15 plus years. Hand-delivered letters. I hand-delivered gingerbreads. I hand-delivered anything. I door-knocked. I cold called, all myself. But I saw that as the number one most impactful task I could do because I'm making the effort to do it. And I believe that the universe rewards effort. I believe that the universe rewards effort. That's the way that I saw it. If I get up and drop 200 letters every morning, I've contacted 200 people before any agents got out of bed. That's how
with your energy.
With my energy. Put it in the letterbox. I look at the letterbox. I'm like, and I look at the house. Walk along. Next one. If you put 1,000 letters in a letterbox over time, you're going to get to know what the owners are like, what the house is like, what this is. I felt I was earning it. I actually felt like the universe was going to reward me at some time. Might sound crazy, but it did. That's how I was thinking. I'm like, well, I don't have much talent. Like I'm not a talented anything really. Like I'm not an athlete. I was shy. I didn't go into people's houses and have this amazing sales ability. I didn't have anything. But I'm like, I've got grit. I've got grunt. I can get up at 4 a.m. I can fold my own letters and I can put them in. Might sound a little like we're not changing the world here. We're talking about real estate. But it's all I had. And I'm thinking I could do this. And I just ran faster than everybody. And I thought, if I just do this over and over and over again, I'd have to get ahead of people. I'd have to. So that's how I saw it, George. I didn't really have a choice to say, I don't really want to do that. Yeah. Well, I did, but I chose that way. And same as with you. So when it's like your next thing, it's prospecting, George, because your prospecting directly relates to your profile.
Yeah.
Hi, it's Jordan. I'm just giving you a call. I know I popped past 2 weeks ago, but I'm just letting you know this house sold in the street, just seeing if you have any thoughts of selling. You probably haven't. You don't need to be this drooling agent that's going, do you want to sell your house? Do you want to sell your house? I was the opposite to that. I actually didn't even really, I'd say, have you had any thoughts of selling? No, okay, see you, bye. That was it. I just thought, and I was more interested in the connections, thank you card. And I knew they were going to get a letter in 2 weeks' time. And I knew I was putting together another brochure that was designed. And I'd go off and get marketing companies to design these brochures and stuff like that. I was excited about it. So that's what I've been saying to you. It's not Jordan prospect. I'm like, George, let's build your profile so big that you become the next John McGrath. There's an opening for it. John McGrath's John McGrath. You know, he's a touch older than me, but we're getting old now, George.
Yeah.
Who's the next up and coming John McGrath? I don't think there is one. And that's
which is exciting.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying, George, learn from me and do it better. Learn from me and do it better. That's why I'm always so hard on you, because if I left it to you, sure, you're going to find your way. You're going to be successful. I can see that. Of course you are. But John McGrath changed my life and my business partner, Jamie, with the guidance they gave me. So I'm saying to you, George, I've got 30 years of experience of really doing it the most hardest way you can physically do it. Let's blend that way and your way. Let's blend it. It'll save you 10 years.
Yeah.
But you can't get around the hard stuff. There's no way around it. If you want to be the long-term best in your field, in anything, not just real estate, anything. This is a sport, real estate, it's plumbing, soccer, it's all the same.
It's the things that you feel you don't need to do or don't want to do, which they're the most important tasks that need to be done. Yeah.
Well said. That's why with prospecting, moving forward, it's not about how many listings you've got. That's got nothing to do with it. It's about the garden that you're cultivating for the future. Because when you go into a house and you've had 85 conversations with Gwen from Wairaki Road, and she knows that you're just been there, and that displays your work ethic, it displays your bankability, your consistency. So when she wants to sell a house, she's like, well, I really trust Jordan because he's been there keeping me up to date.
Yeah.
It's the single most biggest miss of real estate agents in this industry because they can't be bothered, or they do it for a little while. And you can't prospect on need. I've said it a million times. You can't prospect on need. You can't go find a listing today. Where on earth are you supposed to find that? Because people might take 5 years to make a decision to sell their house. But you want to be the person on the spot that says, with the most trusted brand, then you'll get all the business.
Yeah.
So back to your question about being busy, busyness doesn't even come into it because prospecting is the reason you're busy. So you can't turn it off. You can, and you'll have a slump.
Yeah, agree 100%. That's the other element of my business over the next few years.
Yeah. And you're fortunate to have a team, so you got leverage. But if I were you, I'd say 10 contacts a day. And that sounds very basic, but we're talking about a 30-year-old that is busy. You're very busy. You have no time. So I'm not sitting here going, just prospect and ignore everything. I'm saying pick a number that you can work with. And it could be 10 door knocks a day, 10 cold calls a day. Just make a number and just say, that's my number. And then make yourself accountable. Whether it's the skill that you'll learn in this, George, making yourself accountable will actually filter across the rest of your life too. I'm only so disciplined and consistent because I actually made myself build my career like that. Because if I wasn't, I wouldn't have made it.
Were you disciplined back before when you were like in the naughty days? Or did you have
disciplined taking drugs?
Yeah, but you're still bodybuilding back then.
But
did you feel like you still were wired that way? You just hadn't channeled it properly?
Not really. I think it was more
Did you trained yourself to be as disciplined as you are now?
Yeah.
But I've never met anybody more disciplined.
Yeah.
Like it's unbelievable. Like it truly is.
Yeah, no, I think I did it because I really wanted it.
But even my mum said to me last night, she says, I don't actually think that people understand the tasks that Matt does and how difficult they really are.
Yeah.
Like the 3 hours on a Stairmaster, all of those.
I'm just 5.
The food, even the food with no cheat meals.
But think about
that. You ever just go, I wonder what caviar on a bit of bread tastes like.
Tell me what a cheat meal means.
Well, something that's not your diet.
Why would you eat it then?
Just curious what it tastes like.
But that's the way I see it.
Yeah.
Why would you eat a cheat meal? Think about what it is. It's like saying, I can't believe you don't cheat on your partner. Think of the word, like the cheat meal. I can't believe you don't cheat on that exam. Like it depends on what you want.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to Jackson before we got on here today, and we were talking about this podcast, and also myself and us and everything. And I'm like, I think we're still finding our way. What are we? Because whatever you do, you've got to be an extension of you. And I look at Mark Burris, and he's become an interviewer, really. And he interviews lots of people. We don't have heaps of guests on here, but I don't. And I like Mark Burris. I think he's like a really successful guy, but I'm interested in him. So he has so many different interviews. Like they're all so different.
Yeah.
And I'm not really interested in most of them. Every now and then you are, but then it's politics and UFC. And
most people listen to the person for the person.
Yeah. So I look at Brian Johnson. Even though he looks like a vampire, I like what he's doing. And
he does look like a vampire, actually.
Yeah, he is. And I'm interested in what he does. Really interested in that. And then Tony Robbins, I like part of him. There's all these things. And I said to Jackson, we're like a blend of people. Sort of. I'm just doing my thing because I want to stay as healthy as possible for as long as possible, but we're in real estate. So, the podcast, I want guests, but ones that just fit in our lane.
Yeah.
Ones that are going to make you healthier or better, stuff like that. That's sort of what I feel is our lane.
Yeah.
Prospecting, time. So what are you going to do with this? What's the commitment you're going to make here to manage that?
I just need to be okay that that is my most important task, and everything just needs to flow around it. That's
Do
probably
you think you can do it though?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Look, I feel that
What's stopping you doing it?
I don't feel like I don't prospect. This is the thing. I just feel like I prospect in different ways. So I'll be very honest with you. I don't really like calling people, but I love having Jackson as a buyer that's looking for a beachfront and saying, hey, Matt, I'm working a guy named Jackson. There's no beachfronts available. He's really keen to buy something. Maybe has somewhat of an unlimited budget. Any thoughts of selling your beachfront if the price was okay? I love making that call. He's better for me because I feel like it's real and I feel like I'm actually helping someone and I'm being proactive. If I'm being proactive, I like making those calls. But I think maybe I've never connected with the just listed and just sold stuff, because if someone called me, I'd be like, what are you calling me for? Like I would be a bit like annoyed about it maybe. But if someone called me and said, hey, Jordan, you probably would never sell your apartment, but I hope you don't mind me asking. I've got a guy looking for a 1-bedroom. He's pretty keen to buy something. He may pay over market value. Would you sell your apartment? I would say no, but I would appreciate the proactiveness of them reaching out. But if someone called me and said, oh, the apartment next door at number 6 is on the market, I'd be like, I don't care. Why are you telling me that? Like, hang up. So that's probably how I've had to find my way of doing it in different ways. Like I'm great at meeting people. I'm great at building rapport, but that's probably always been the disconnect. I like inviting people to open houses. Like I say, here's my business card. My name's Jordan. We've just listed the property down the road. Just in case you've got any friends or family wanting to move in the area, I wanted to let you know first. Card. I like doing that. I like telling people sometimes if things are sold, but if I'm not feeling the call, I have trouble making them.
Because you're, 1, don't like rejection, and 2, there's nothing in it.
There's nothing in it for me.
There's nothing in it. There's nothing in it.
Yeah, you're probably right.
That's why. But flip it around, I saw it the other way. I saw the call I make today will pay off in 10 years' time. That's how I saw it. I went to a house yesterday. Another agent in our office, Anthony, got the call. He called him or got the call or something, and the owner said, I want you to bring Matt. You know why? Because I've called him for 20 years.
Yeah.
That's why. And every time I've spoken to him, no, I'm not selling Matt ever. No, not selling Holiday House. Bill, his name is, not selling. But all of those things over time, and I'd leave messages on his, I remember I only had a landline for him, so I'd leave messages on his thing. Hey, Bill, it's Matt, just letting you know, blah, 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 blah. Call me if you think you're selling. And most of the time he never rang back. Like I only spoke to him in 20 years. I probably spoke to him, 15 times, but left about 30 messages over time. That's how I saw it. The compounding effect of the connect today will pay off later down the track. So just this morning I thought we should go 30 and 30 at some point. 20 listings, 20 sales a month, we should go 30 and 30. How's that going to come?
More listings.
Yeah, but how's it going to come?
Prospecting.
Consistency.
Is a start. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you need to rewire your brain a bit with that, because that's the glaring gap in your business.
Yeah.
That's why you sell 8 one month and 2 another. That's why. And your profile, you're trying to build your profile on being cool. That's what I reckon. Like the cool agent that knows lots of people.
Maybe, but I also feel like my brand is bankable.
It is.
And it's honest.
It is.
And I'll always shoot straight, no surprises, and I'll work harder than anybody else. Yeah,
but you're trying to build your brand on your golf days, on your football sponsorships, on this sort of stuff. That's fine. That's part of it. You can do that. It enthuses you. You like that. Nothing will build your brand more than being a standout in known for something, like as in a core area. I'm telling you, nothing will beat it.
Yeah.
Whether that's upper end real estate, whether that's Wombrel.
Yeah, specialising.
It is. And dominating, like so much dominating it, and be so consistent that it will build your brand in conjunction with the other things that you like doing. You like the networking stuff. I've never networked in my life. Doesn't mean it's right or wrong. But the sponsorships and stuff, it's like a bolt on.
See, I've always thought people, not property.
Yeah.
I've always thought people.
Yeah.
I'm not listing, like I'm helping a person. I'm not listing a property. I'm listing a person, essentially.
Yeah.
They're in partnership with me doing business. But that's what I've always thought, probably, and that might not be the right mindset. So I've only been interested in people.
It is the right mindset.
And if I can be around people, I know I'll be successful. But I haven't specialized around the right people, as in Wombrel. You know, like I've kind of run off.
Yeah, because the core area gives you purpose every day. Otherwise, you're running around everywhere, like this place, that place, this place, that place, person, this, that, lunches, this, things, everywhere. A core area gives you complete track to run on. Today, this is the connects I'm making. This is the thing I'm sending. This week we're doing this month. It gives you this consistent flow. It only makes up a portion of your business.
Yeah.
And the rest is what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got...
Which I have pretty much under control. I just need to have this other part humming as well.
You do. That's exactly right. You just... The motor around your core area is the thing that you need to build because you've been used to doing business the other way because you've been part of a very busy team. You know a lot of people. You know, that's all great. But if you want to sell 30, list 30 and sell 30, it's not easy to do. I don't think anybody does. I don't know. Some people say they do. I'm not sure they do or not. But it's like, it's a lot. But you need consistent flow. Your core area will deliver a certain amount of consistent flow every month.
Well, they're the properties we know. We can price them right. And we have the buyers
for that, this and that. Yeah. So that would be the only thing for you this year. Like I think you're doing very, very well, George. You know, a little bit annoying sometimes, but very, very well.
I've been much better.
You've been great because you've been off the drink. I thought like you're an alcoholic. Yeah. You're not at all. You just like a good time on Saturday nights and.
Yeah, I don't have a drink during the week. I train every day. I get up early. It's very hard in your 30s when you're building popularity. People ask you to go places. In my mindset, I'm like, this is a good thing for me. I meet more people. I get to be the star of the show sometimes, like because if there's an opportunity to be the center of attention, I'm there.
Yeah,
like, someone want to get on the microphone? No way, no worries. Put a song on. I'll belt it out. Like.
But let me go back this way. You had a bad review.
I did have a bad.
You had a bad review from going out, and it was the CEO of a global company,
a client of ours.
Yeah, and he said, "Mate, what did tell us?"
He said something like,
not something like. You know exactly what he said because it made you cry.
He said, "Love you, man, but goodness me," he goes, "You party hard."
You party hard.
He goes something like, "You worried me" or something.
You know what he said.
I can't
spit it out.
Go. You say.
No, I don't know.
It was something like that.
You probably read the message 400 times. Like,
well, basically, it was just that in summary. So, love ya.
Tell us what it said.
Do you want to read it out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Get it out. Because there's agents in our area that do party hard, and they're known for that.
He said, he's a very successful guy. I said, Happy New Year, whatever. He said, man, you can party hard. Last time I seen you, you were pushing the limit. And I said to him, not drinking, December, it's just that time of year. I thought it deserved to have a bit of fun. He goes, it was rather hilarious, a little scary. He goes, I can see that you don't have an off switch. He said, you can work a lifetime building a reputation and lose it in 10 seconds. He said, maybe going out in Terrigal isn't the best idea for you. He goes, but I love you, brother. He said, I thought it's worth sharing because I'm very fond of you and love seeing how much you've grown and you work effing hard, my friend. He goes, you remind me of yourself, but be a very talented leader. You got a bright future. Maybe stay out of Terrigal for a bit.
Yeah, see? But that's a guy's taken that time to write that message to you. Super successful because he cares, not because he's criticising. But that's what I'm saying to you.
It's 0 or it's 100.
Yeah, but think about personal brand. What do you want people to know you as?
Yeah.
The sloppy guy dribbling on people on the table, or do you want to? You know, that's what I'm saying. You build this brand and go to Sydney and have a blowout if you want to every now and then.
Well, the thing was, it didn't affect me financially. I never woke up and I'd done anything that I'd regretted. I never upset anybody. It was just like I really made myself the center of attention because if I was turning it up everybody was coming with me. I was making it the greatest night of all time, and I was leading it. So I couldn't hide in the shadows because I was the one going, get behind me, pretty much.
Yeah. But what I think about, he's took the time to teach you. How many people didn't?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. That's 100% true.
So anyway, so this year we're working on that part of it. Myself, I'm going to become a better leader, and just maybe double what I'm doing at the moment. We'll see if we can do that. Prospecting for you, Trev, getting better. Me, focused on that, and I think we've got a real crack at it. Not this financial year, but the following.
Yeah, agreed.
Thanks, George.